Subscribe or you're a coward.
C2 Wrestling, we're back. Night of Champions, night of two title matches, two tournament finals, two non-title matches. Do we just get into the most important thing?
Let's get into the most important thing. Ah!
And no!
Settle the score. Solo Sikoa, U.S. champion. I love you, Solo. It is about time. It truly is about time. We were saying it. Solo doesn't win here, we riot. And it's nothing against Fatu, the absolute beast that Fatu is. We love Fatu. I want Fatu to be the WWE champion sooner rather than later. But the time was now for Solo. If it wasn't now, it was never. How do you continue the feud? You have to transition that title to Solo. Even despite all that, this could have been a feud between Solo and anybody else for a championship. Solo deserves his flowers, man. It's about time.
Solo has been overhated, underappreciated
Mm-hmm.
for a while. I understand the gripe at the time for when it seemed like it was a little much of Solo
Yeah,
and it seemed
sure.
like a big jump from. I get it. They got it too. But man, he needed a win.
Needed a
He
win.
needed a win bad. And I
Mm-hmm.
love, like, this is no disrespect to JC, no disrespect to Hikaleo,
Mm-hmm.
no disrespect to Tamatanga or Tongaloa. This feels like a faction. Solo's the guy. He's the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Love Jacob Fatu. We knew it wouldn't last long with them two together because they're, in my opinion, they should be similar playing fields.
Mm-hmm.
Fatu would outshine him at times, whatever. I'm so happy for Solo, man. He
So happy for
finally got
Solo.
that title. And look, if this were 10 years ago, it would be like it's only the United States Championship. This is,
Yep.
but now these titles, they mean a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Winning the US title is a legit accomplishment. I'm pumped, man. And
Pumped.
I'm interested in the story to not to bury the other lead, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously we have Hikaleo's debut and the return of
Tongaloa.
Tongaloa.
Correct.
Love it. Love it.
Love it. It played out pretty much how we thought it would play out, but that's okay again. When predictability is done right, it can be great. And it was great. Solo Sikoa, U.S. champion, deserves that accolade. He does not have to hold the title forever. He can lose it back to Fatu at some point, and I'm happy. Or you can end their feud without Fatu needing the title back, and Solo can end up losing it to someone else down the line. An Aleister Black, a Carmelo Hayes,
Jimmy
who
Uso.
knows who? Jimmy Uso, sure. It's a way to transition the title into more feuds, bigger feuds. I love the debut of Hikuleo. It's about time we got Hikuleo on actual TV. He's been signed for a while. Dark matches over the last couple of weeks, so we knew that was coming. Didn't necessarily expect the Tongaloa return. I did say it was a possibility, but I thought it would be the other way around. I thought Tongaloa might return a little bit more down the line alongside Tama Tonga on the corner of Jacob Fatu, not with Solo Sikoa. We got a five-man stable coming, assuming Tama Tonga pairs with Solo Sikoa. That's a big stable. Hikuleo, 7 feet tall. The dude's an absolute beast. He can run that
Can't teach
enforcer
that.
kind of role. Can't teach that. Yeah. I just can't get over how ecstatic I am that Solo has a bit of gold.
Yeah, and also like I like JC.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't envision Solo and JC going for like tag titles or like being a tag team. Granted,
Mm-hmm.
this faction very much so is going to be in the mix with Jacob Fatu, Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
probably Jay,
Yep.
and who knows who else. I like that it also adds elsewhere. This faction could go for the tag titles at some point. They have the US title. It adds to the show itself.
Mm-hmm.
So more than just Solo's the champion, it helps other parts of the show. But man, I'm so happy Solo's got a title, man. I'm just there's
Ecstatic.
finally something that when you look up his name, there's an accolade
Yeah, he's a former North American champion, but the
on the main
NXT
roster.
on the main roster, yeah, the NXT titles hold a different amount of weight. The US title, like you said yourself, it's way more meaningful nowadays than it was a couple years ago. Again, it's just about time for a guy like Solo. All the hate this guy gets, so unwarranted, underrated. To the like, I just can't emphasize how great Solo has been since his debut. He's one of those guys that I never thought would fall in that world of getting the hate online because he's been so damn good from the beginning. Underrated, underused, underutilized, whatever you want to call it. He could have held a championship a year ago. I would have been happy. It's about time though. But we'll go backwards. We'll start from the beginning of the show now. King of the Ring, Cody Rhodes takes on Randy Orton. They didn't pull out all the stops here. I didn't expect them to because this is clearly a feud that will rehash down the line. Cody Rhodes wins, goes on to probably take on John Cena at SummerSlam. Sure, fine. The biggest takeaway from all of that, though, Orton was pretty heelish during this match, man. That was a full-blown heel turn. If not, it's about to be the Randy Orton heel turn.
Yeah, there's a difference between the sprinkling of things where it's like a little bit later on, you're like, oh, damn, I didn't really catch that, but that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Then there's the like, we want you to understand this is like the was it Billy Madison? Cherish it. It's like
Yeah.
pay attention to
Yeah.
this. This is the seed of what's
Yeah.
happening. Like where it's so blatantly obvious, like, oh, okay, they're really teasing the Randy heel turn. And the punt semi. If they just did the
Mhm.
punt, I'd be like,
I wouldn't have gone
it's
crazy about it.
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
enough for me. It's not
That's more.
enough.
It's that more acts as like a knockout punch than it does like a heel
Yeah, and
type
also it's like,
thing.
all right, Randy's just crazy,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
The
The chair.
chair, the turnbuckle,
Hmm.
the disgust on
Hmm.
his face on the ramp. It's like, all right, these are the seats. Now, here's where it's a bit interesting. And I don't want to say worrisome. I want the Cody Randy legit story, the turn to happen when Cody is champion.
Correct.
What I don't want is Randy to cost Cody the title at SummerSlam.
No.
Randy and Cody go into a story. Cody gets through Randy after a few months, 5 months, whatever, gets back to Cena and wins the title then. That's what I don't want. Don't
Agreed.
use this story to delay a future, that story, Randy Cody with Randy as a heel, is the story. It is
Yep.
not a setup story. So if the plan is Cody does beat Cena for the title and then Randy turns and it goes into that, fine.
Fine. Yep.
Don't use it as the Brock story for
Agreed.
Cody.
Agreed. It's Orton and Brock are not the same. It's totally different. There was no history between Cody and Brock. There's so much history between Cody and Orton that it has to be over more than just them feuding. It has to be for the championship. It has to be for something bigger. Orton just lost a big match. That was a number one contenders match. Forget King of the Ring. That was a number one contenders match. Orton just lost his chance to get number 15. He's been calling for it for a while. Him and Cody have to feud over the championship. Hell, Orton should be the guy to probably take the belt off Cody. Orton absolutely should get another run in. Who else? Who else to beat Cody when Cody does finally regain the championship? I think Orton fits the bill. And then I think you could have Orton go into new things, Cody go into new things. But regardless, that's absolutely the biggest takeaway is the clear hints that an Orton heel turn is coming.
Yeah, very enjoyable. And the match, to me,
Solid.
solid.
Mm-hmm.
Predictability when done right,
Mm-hmm.
still good. I still don't believe the match should have happened between them
Like
two.
1000%. I'll never
But
believe it should have.
exactly. But as we have said, I will watch it. I will give it my, honest opinion. I liked it. The match was
Mm-hmm.
good as I expected. The story was good. It will continue. Totally fine. I don't agree with how they did it, but I
Yeah.
like what they're doing. I don't think it was the right decision, but I'm always open.
Yep. I agree. Following the Orton Cody match was probably the match of the night. Rhea versus Raquel. Street fight. They got a good 15-minute banger in there. Nothing to hate on with that, except that Raquel should have got the win. The win definitely should have gone to Raquel. I said it during our live stream that it leads me to believe that Rhea probably gets a title match coming up, maybe at Evolution. Why else have her win this? I don't know. I don't understand. And I'm on board with Rhea winning and winning a championship again or getting a title match. She's one of those superstars that should always be in contention. I get it. But I think this was like a moment for Raquel. Like you could have established Raquel a bit more by having her win this match. And you could have had them face again at Evolution and Raquel can lose then. I don't know. Regardless, though, street fight, some good spots in that match. I thought it was probably in ring, probably the best match of the night.
It was a very good match.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. We said it would be good, and it was good.
What
Funny
are
how
the
that works.
odds? What are the
Funny how that
odds?
works.
It's almost like we're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and like, oh wow, Raquel was good, almost like she is good.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it has been.
Uh,
Yeah,
I I don't hate the outcome.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, as we said in our prediction podcast. By the way, check out the podcast and subscribe. We're
Hmm.
4 subs away from 1,000. We said like with these Saudi shows, sometimes it is just cut and dry. The babyface
Yep.
wins, the heel loses, or the heel, whatever. My biggest gripe with it is just story wise for Raquel and Roxanne. Like, what does that really do? Like, Roxanne tried,
Yeah, if
it's
Roxanne
just
would have
like,
helped her win the match, then it's more reason for Raquel to be like, "Here's the title."
yeah, if Roxanne helped her win or Roxanne was the reason she lost, then
Correct.
it's like, all right, we're working with a story here. That just kind of feels like you're treading water on that story to send it in a different direction to
Hmm.
me. So that's
Agreed.
really my biggest takeaway, but damn fun match.
Yeah,
Rhea most likely going for the world title.
I agree. I think that's going to be the Evolution match. Asuka, I still think is in line to probably get Io at SummerSlam. I think that fits the bill.
Yeah. Or it'll just happen the other way around. Either
Yeah,
way, I think
yeah,
both matches happen.
for sure.
After that was the
Sami Zayn
yes.
versus Karrion Cross. And as I
Fine.
say that, they pop up on the post show to the left of me. And yeah, fine match. Again, this wasn't a match that I expected an absolute banger, to be honest. And it's not to discredit the ability of Sami Zayn and especially Karrion Cross, a guy similar to Solo Sikoa, similar to Raquel Rodriguez, has been fantastic for a long time now and is just starting to get his flowers. But there's a story to be told here with Karrion, with Sami, with everything. Would I have liked Karrion to win? Sure. Would I have liked Sami to win in a little bit more of a heelish fashion? Sure, because it plays into the story of Karrion. But it still is not bad. It still wasn't wrong. It does fall in line with, like you just said, and like we said on the podcast, Saudi Arabia, exhibitions, babyface gets the big win. I get it, but it's a slow roll with Karrion. Karrion wasn't going to win this match and then get a title shot. He can lose this one to win a bigger one later down the line.
Yeah, and they did play it out like I think Cole even said it on commentary, like Sami Zayn snatched victory out of the
Mm-hmm.
jaws of defeat. Like they played it out like Sami was seconds away from losing and he got a quick one to win. I was
Yep.
fine with it. I don't think this is the end of their story as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that also plays into it. I could see with Sammy getting involved even more with the Rollins Punk. I could see that 6-man tag happening and Cross takes out Sammy during that match or right before the match. Anything. Like I can
Yeah.
see that prolonging their feud. It's crazy. It feels like it's been a story for months and they just now faced.
Yeah.
So it's like it's got this weird combination where it feels like it's been going on forever, but it also feels like it just started.
Well, Karrion's had a lot of those backstage segments with a lot of superstars. 2 months ago, I would have maybe told you he's about to feud with AJ Styles, and this would have been a match against AJ, because they had some backstage segments. But then AJ gets involved with Dom. Zayn has been having these segments with Karrion for literally months now. I think this was a long time coming. I really think it's all to the credit of Karrion, honestly. Karrion got himself over. That one promo, everybody knows what promo I'm talking about, did absolute wonders for this guy. And it's about fucking time, to be honest, because he, again, is a guy that deserves his flowers, deserves his time. He took some bumps in this match, too. So we can get over that hump.
What? No.
No. Did he?
He doesn't take any. What are you talking
Nah,
about?
zero. On his feet at all times. He lands like a cat. Of course, he takes bumps. Of course, he's a great wrestler. He's a great gimmick, a great character. I'm hoping to see more with Karrion Cross.
We already kind of talked about the US title, so I don't really think we have to.
Yeah, we could skip through
Uh,
that when we already went
yeah,
into that.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go into the Queen of the Ring finals. I'll keep it a buck.
Hmm.
I was editing and making a thumbnail. I was halfway paying attention. I'm not going to say this match was bad. I'm not going to say it was good. I'm going to say nothing happened where I was like, oh shit, I got to stop
Yeah.
what I'm doing on my laptop and pay attention to this because I'm missing crazy stuff. That doesn't mean it was bad.
Hmm.
It just means it did not pull my attention away from what I was doing, which probably is a bit unfair to them, but I do think it is a bit of a damper to the match that we said in the podcast. We know the route for both of them. So
Hmm.
it's like it doesn't really matter who wins to me because
Yep.
you know Jade is going to get this title match and Naomi's going to get in the mix, whatever. And
Hmm.
you know they're going to run Asuka Io at some point. So
Hmm.
going into that match knowing that no matter the outcome, they're both going to get title shots, it was like,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't really matter how this goes.
Yeah. It was the most whatever match of the night. The match itself, it wasn't bad, but there was nothing. You're never gonna go, man, that Asuka Jade match at Queen of the Ring. People are gonna remember, Jade is Queen of the Ring. She won that tournament once, sure. But no one's ever gonna be calling back that spot they had or that moment or that victory in that sense. Again, coin flip. Could have gone either way. We know the stories. I do think Jade was the right decision to win because I think it's a bit of a better story to tell with her winning her way to a title match, overcoming the odds to get cashed in on by her arch nemesis in reality. I think that's the better story. Asuka and Io can just have a face down and then just have a match. It didn't need some like tournament win in a sense where if Jade didn't win, I think it was harder to get her into the championship match than it's going to be for a former world champion, former Rumble winner, Asuka. So makes much more sense for it to go to Jade. I'm looking forward to the Jade Tiffany match, Jade Naomi Bianca. We've been calling for it, that triple threat, Jade Naomi Bianca. That's got to happen at some point at a bigger PLE. We've been saying Mania, night one main event of Mania. Who knows what else is going to be on those cards? Who knows who's going to wrestle? Who's going to return? If Glass is going to break, we don't know. But sign me up for that. Triple threat, Jade, Naomi, Bianca.
Yeah, on Asuka, you took the words out of my mouth. Former multi-time champion, Money in the Bank winner,
Rumble
first
winner.
ever
Yep.
women's Royal Rumble winner.
Yep.
She just needs one win and she's in a gets a
Yeah.
title match. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's not someone who needs, not saying that Jade isn't some like bigger name
Threat.
or anything like that by any means. It's just accolades.
Yep.
It's quite simple. Randy Orton can win one match and get a
Mm-hmm.
title shot, and you're not like, why is Randy Orton getting a title shot?
Yeah.
It is not weird. You don't need to justify with a few wins or justify with this big number one contenders tournament or anything like that. Jade needs it. It also helps the Jade story.
Absolutely.
I think it being torn down by your nemesis, if we're being honest,
Mm-hmm.
who just takes away your biggest moment or whatever, however it plays out, is the better way to go. So, back to the original point, it is a bit unfair that it was kind of obvious that it's kind of obvious the direction for both of them. Not
Mm-hmm.
a bad way, but it to me I could have fast forwarded this part of the story because I know what's next
Where
for
it's
both of
going.
them. No.
Yeah, absolutely. On a rewatch, even if I didn't know the results, it's the match I probably skip to get to the main event, which was John Cena defending his WWE Championship against CM Punk. And there's a story to be told here, and it was a great build, CM Punk, John Cena. But the story to be told here is really that of CM Punk and Seth Rollins. That's the bigger theme here. John Cena has a whole other route he's going into again with Cody Rhodes off the back of Cody Rhodes winning the King of the Ring. During this match, it's a fine match. It's exactly what I expected out of John Cena and CM Punk having a 10-15 minute match. Another Avengers type match where all these guys are coming out to the ring. Seth has the briefcase, taunts the cash in. Bronson and Braun Breaker take out Punk. Penta comes out. Sammy comes out. It's a mess. Seth Rollins ultimately helps John Cena win inadvertently, moves John Cena out of the feud, but he helps John Cena win by hitting a curb stomp on CM Punk. It sets up the final CM Punk Seth Rollins match, SummerSlam. Book it, probably night one main event. Post the match, who knows who we get. But I think we're setting up for the Roman Reigns return.
I think we're probably likely Saturday night's main event, get a six-man tag.
Correct.
Probably
Yeah.
probably seems about
Punk,
right.
Sammy, Penta
Punk Sammy
versus
Penta
Sam
versus
versus Seth Braun Bronson.
yeah. Um that feels like the match, and then
Mm-hmm.
we get Punk Rollins one-on-one and probably the return of Roman. And you can kind of set up that Roman could cost Rollins. He could take out Rollins and Punk. He could
Yeah.
come in during the match. He could come out after the match. Him taking this long leave, and we know we need Roman Rollins one on one again, but we also need Roman Punk one on one at some point too. So there's still plenty to kind of come from a story that was, 2.5 months ago that semi got put on hold because Roman, in Roman fashion. I don't necessarily love like, all right, it's SummerSlam, he's just gonna return at the end, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say I'm like ready for a bow to be put on Punk Rollins. It's just I'm ready for Punk to kind of this Cena feud felt so
Fresh.
fresh, but it also felt so quick because he was in the middle of this Rollins stuff.
Yes.
That it
Yeah.
was like a quick detour, then back.
Mhm. It also doesn't help that these PLEs and all these events, Saturday night's
Yeah.
main event, they're all 2 week spans away from each
Yeah.
other now. So the builds are tighter.
What I'm saying is, I'm glad that we can get back to this. So Punk feels more on a natural road again.
Mhm.
Again, I liked the match with him and Cena. The build the last few weeks was fun. Wish it was a longer build, but it literally felt like, all right, here's Punk's story. Whoop whoop. Okay, we're back.
I can see a world where, similar to Seth Rollins' first cash in, where Seth lost a big match against Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and then he goes on to cash in and win the championship. I can see night one CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, and Roman comes out and doesn't necessarily help Punk win, but he makes sure Seth loses. And then night two, Seth cashes in, or maybe Punk versus Rollins opens the show even, and we get the World Championship as the main event of night one, and he ends up cashing in the same night as well. I don't know. I don't think Seth is going to hold the briefcase forever. I do think the cash in is coming sooner rather than later. It's very interesting to plan the cash in around the potential involvement of Roman Reigns, though. Roman coming back makes me put a hold on the potential cash in. The Roman Seth match is going to happen eventually. That should probably be the WrestleMania match, Roman versus Seth, for the championship, not for the championship. How you can't have, I mean, you can, but you're probably not going to have that match at Clash in Paris. It doesn't really fit the bill. But you're not going to not have the match for 3 more years when they're currently feuding. So I think this is a slow build for them having a one-on-one match at WrestleMania 42.
Yeah, and look, Gunther is the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time. There will
Mm-hmm.
never be anybody better. He is the best. He has had the title put back on him for this Goldberg feud. Don't love it that
Yeah.
it's for Goldberg. The title is still prestigious because to us, Gunther is the GOAT, as I
Mm-hmm.
said. This world title getting in the mix of the Rollins Punk Roman feud, we've been talking about establishing the lineage, and like to us, there hasn't been a bad champion. And we've pretty much enjoyed how things have gone for the entirety of this belt. That takes it to the next level where
Mm-hmm.
it's, yeah, it was cool having Rollins in the mix. I want Rollins to be cashing in on the world title,
100%.
not because I want Gunther to lose, but because we are continuing to establish this title to be the same level as the WWE title. If Punk Rollins and Roman are fighting over this title. Guess what? This is the title. Like
Yep.
that is how it is. So that's where I want this to kind of go and stray away from the Cena stuff was cool. The teasing of the cash in on Cena, it all worked out well,
Mhm.
but it's perfect for, all right, that was the Saudi show. Let's make that right turn, get right back on our route. Our destination is still the same amount of time away. We're back on the straight and narrow road for the stories that we've been telling.
Absolutely. Overall, Night of Champions as a whole, Night of Non-Champions, whatever you want to call it, predictable but solid. Good matches, good finishes, new champions. Storylines are set up leading into the second biggest PLE of the year, SummerSlam. Evolution coming up, Saturday night's main event.
Evolution is a mystery.
An incredible song by Motorhead. We got a lot to look forward to with not only WWE, but with the future, the lineage of C2 Wrestling. We are 4 subscribers away from breaking that 1,000 mark. So we need y'all to subscribe, turn the notifications on. We got a lot of plans. We will be there live for SummerSlam. But with the Saturday night's main event, Evolution, NXT coming up, we plan on going live. Come hang out with the boys. It's been an absolute blast. I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Last but not least, so
Subscriber, you're a coward?
yeah,
Please.
thanks.